In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, guys, it's another Saturday morning recording. We all got our coffee and we're having a good time. And this is the CineBoiz podcast. So welcome everybody to the CineBoiz podcast. We are part of the Corkbats podcast network. We're basically Corkbats movie, TV, and entertainment podcast. Essentially what that means is that we are not a sports podcast. Even though there's March Madness going on and NFL free agency, all kinds of crazy fun stories, we're not talking about that. Damn it. We're talking about movies.
Unless we do, then we will.
If it comes up, it comes up. But we're not a sports podcast.
Quick brainstorm for you guys. Or maybe just a question. How do you guys feel about cold opens? Because I've been listening to some podcasts lately that just do some cold opens for like 30 seconds. They tickle my fancy.
I think our first few episodes had a couple of cold opens.
Yeah, what if we just, and then you can still do the intro, but then you just cut to it.
I like it.
I love cold opens.
All right. This sounds like more work. I'm into it.
It does. It does.
Well, here's the thing. We used to do it, or I had it on the first few episodes, but that was when we were audio only.
And that's when you used to spend hours editing.
Yeah. So I could do it. Do I want to do it? Like, not really. But
let me declare this. The idea is dead. No more work for more people. It's dead.
I'll say this. It's
not only a brainstorm.
This is supposed to be fun.
It's not dead.
It's dead. I'm killing it. I shot it dead. I killed it.
It's tabled until there's
You do it, I'll be mad.
Okay.
We'll send it to our subcommittee where it will ultimately die.
I'll just say that it's tabled. If I figure out a way to easily do it, then it'll be done. But as of right now, cold opens are dead. Is that fair? Okay. Well, cool. Dead. Well, hey, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, all the podcast places and things, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing, telling a friend, liking, rating, reviewing, all that good stuff. It goes a long way for us. Also, if you're watching on the Corkbats YouTube page, thank you as well. Be sure to follow Corkbats on YouTube and like this video because it helps us grow and we like to grow, and that's fun. But yeah, so look, my name's Kenny. I'm one of the co-hosts of the CineBoiz podcast. I'm the Chief Boy, as was laid out to me via text this week, and I like that because I like the Chiefs and I like being a Chief. So there you go. But I'm joined, as always, with my three co-hosts, starting with Tom Bragg in Columbia, Missouri. Tom, how are you?
Doing great.
Dude, that's so good to hear. I have a question for you, though. What are you big on this week?
I am big on watching Justin Timberlake hosted SNLs.
Little throwback.
They're not bad.
Yeah, they're great. We have access to Peacock. I can neither confirm nor deny that we pay for our own subscription. And we've just been going back through a bunch of old SNLs, and our favorites have been the Justin Timberlake ones. So, yeah.
They are solid. He's hosted 5 times, I think.
At least 5, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he'll ever host again? Because it's been a while.
I think he should. I love, he's just so good at it, especially when you can get him to do the musical, be the musical guest as well.
I don't know if he will.
Yeah.
I feel like it was he and Andy Samberg thing, and now that Andy Samberg's gone, and honestly, I don't think he'd be as good without Andy Samberg. Like, those two had creative juices together.
But this is, so you say that, but I'm thinking about it now, and I think we've watched 3 of the episodes he's hosted so far, and there's really not a lot that he's done with Andy Samberg. I think that those just stand out. Like, to your point, like, I think that they are the more memorable ones, but it's really not a lot of skits that they do together.
Yeah, and I think the first time he hosted, Andy Samberg wasn't even on the show yet.
Yeah.
I don't care. One of the best skits ever in SNL history was when Andy Samberg sits there and goes, Justin. And Justin goes, Andy. And he goes, actor? When are you going to make more music? And Justin just goes, I'm just trying to be an actor, and walks off. And that's the skit.
Yep. We watched that one the other night.
Isn't there a little bit of anti-Timberlake stuff going on out there right now?
Not really. So essentially what happened was there was the Britney Spears documentary, which have you guys seen it?
That's right.
Not yet.
I never
Super
watched it.
interesting. Highly recommend it.
It makes me sad.
It does make you sad, but also makes you hopeful that society and culture can change how we treat celebrities. Anyways, so in that, Justin Timberlake doesn't come off super great, and essentially he issued an apology to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson via Instagram type, which is like my favorite type of apology, where you just type something in your iPhone and then you post it to Instagram.
What a world. I'm gonna start doing that to my wife when we have fights. I'm just gonna tag her in Instagram story posts.
Baby, I'm sorry for how I acted.
But yeah, no, I don't think there's too much. I don't think there's too much Justin Timberlake hate. I think there was some warranted, like, hey man, that wasn't cool, and he said, yeah, I agree, that wasn't cool. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, but as far as like his SNL stuff goes, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't host again, just because like he's not super like in the popular culture scene these days, and like the SNL now is a lot different than it was like 10 years ago. So
as soon as he releases another album or stars in another movie, though, I mean,
yeah, well, he just did star in a movie, and he released an album like 2 years ago, and nobody bought it.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
There was one track
good song.
that was good.
One good song. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not. I wouldn't say
he makes a good album.
Yeah, he's not as popular as he was 8 to 10 years ago.
He just needs to record a whole album with Chris Stapleton, and then I'll listen to it.
Yep.
Country music. Cool. Well, thanks, Tom. I'm also joined by my good friend Mob in Kentucky, where there's bluegrass and the ocean, I think. East Coast. Mob, how are you today?
Dandy.
Dude, that's great news, man. What are you big on this week?
So I'm big on an actor by the name of Walton Goggins. And what you might be asking is have you been watching The Unicorn? And the answer is no. I've been rewatching Justified. And in Justified, he plays one of my favorite TV characters, Boyd Crowder. And I just think I love him in everything I've seen him in, which doesn't include The Unicorn. So
okay,
he's very
big on him.
Have you seen The Unicorn?
I have not. I've actually heard good things about it, but
it's not bad.
It was too weird for me.
I just have if it's a comedy on CBS, I'm out.
Okay, that's fair. I'll say this. I think the reason I like Unicorn is because Rob Corddry's in it, and I love Rob Corddry.
That's fair.
Has anyone seen the new Top Gear?
No.
With Rob Corddry and Dak Shepard?
Ooh, sounds fun though.
I kind of want to watch it. Haven't seen it, heard a lot. I'm like a religious listener of Dak Shepard's podcast, so they talk about it all the time. And it's like,
you're a Dak Shepard guy.
Oh yeah, big time.
I like him, but
I like Dak
there's like he's got one of the most rabid fan bases I've ever encountered.
And I'm part of it for sure. I'm like, for me, so where people are really into Joe Rogan, like there's a lot of people like that. I'm like that with Dak Shepard. Like I love his podcast.
He's a little more underground than Joe Rogan for sure.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, pretty much compared to Joe Rogan, everyone's underground. Well, that's the biggest podcast in the world.
Good point.
Yeah, it's always like number one on iTunes. Like we're getting there.
Do any of you listen to Joe Rogan?
Sometimes, yeah.
With Joe Rogan, it's more like I'll watch clips of like interviews he's done. I don't actually listen to his podcast because like his podcast is like 4 hours every episode.
Yeah, I usually do the same, but sometimes if I'm scrolling through and I see that he's got someone on that I'm interested in, I'll check it out. But I don't listen to it like every single day.
I think the only clip I've ever watched was that one where the Air Force pilot came on and was talking about aliens.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like Joe Rogan, but I also don't identify as much with Joe Rogan as I would like Dak Shepard. So I think that's why I like Dak's podcast a lot more. Anyways, well, thanks, Mob. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm big on, and then we'll get to Kevin.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
What are you big on?
Yeah, here's what I'm big on. I'm big on tacos, man, but specifically like Austin, Texas tacos. So I spent 2 weeks up in Missouri, which was great. Hometown. Saw a couple of you guys, Mob, could make it. That's okay, man. It was good to see everybody. I got to eat at like my favorite places from my hometown while I was there, and it was good to get that stuff. I've been back in Austin now for a little under a week, and I had a few days off. It was my birthday. Shout out to me. And went and got to my favorite taco place in Austin, Taco Joint on Riverside. And it's just so good. And I'm just so thankful that the tacos here are just the best. And just the food in general is just amazing. And I just love Austin. I'm big on Austin. It's not even just tacos, man. I just love this town so much. Like, everybody should move here. It's the best town in America. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
I think Austin is a little problematic, though, since they've got that whole bat tunnel. And, bats are kind of problematic.
Excuse me?
The bridge with the bats?
Bat
right.
Cave.
I'm going to need you to elaborate on why bats are problematic, though.
They just don't eat bats.
That makes sense.
Bats. Yeah. I feel like bats are just kind of under attack the last year in Austin.
Did we confirm?
Big bat town.
Is it confirmed that coronavirus was started from a guy eating a bat?
I don't think anything's confirmed.
I don't know.
That's just, that's the Twitter rumor. And I take Twitter as fact. So
yeah, that's fair.
You're the problem.
But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for some good tacos, may I recommend Taco Joint on Riverside in Austin, Texas. Best tacos in Austin, in my opinion.
What's your second favorite taco?
Veracruz on First. No, actually, it's on Congress. It's on Congress.
It's very good.
It's downtown now. There's been several locations, but the main location is now downtown on Congress. Very good. However, here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and just say it. Taco Joint, a little bit cheaper, and you get a lot more food, which typically is not a big draw for me because I feel like if the food is better, it's just better. But Veracruz, also very good tacos. Don't get as much. Tacos are kind of small, and they're a little bit pricier. So that's all I'll say. Yeah, just hit me up if you need taco recommendations in Austin or just food recommendations. I know all the good places. Been here for almost 2 years now. So, okay. That being said, I wanted to save Kevin's big on for last because I think we're going to talk
like that.
Show me your big on.
All right.
Kevin, okay. What are you big on this week, my man?
I'm big on cyberbullying, Ken. And let me explain, Tom. It's because for however many years, the internet basically just bullied Warner Brothers into releasing the Snyder Cut. And they finally caved, and they did it. And I'm happy. I'm not saying it was the best superhero movie out there, because it's not. But I think it's probably DC's most... there'd probably be an argument for Wonder Woman out there of the recent DC films, but I think it's my favorite DC film that's been released in the last 5 or 6 years, if you're going to exclude the Batman series.
Yeah.
But it's just a much more enjoyable experience than the first, minus the 4-hour timestamp. I had to watch it in 2 sittings, so that was good. But I'm just happy that the internet, bullied a powerful entity into doing something it didn't really want to do. And it shelled out like $75 million to do it.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I think it's been noted on this podcast that ever since the Snyder Cut was announced, I was like, well, it's still going to suck because I don't like DC movies and I don't like the DCEU. I watched Snyder Cut in one sitting, which is hard to do because it's a 4-hour movie. I can confirm it does not suck. In fact, it's actually pretty good. And I do recommend it if you have 4 hours to kill.
Part of me thinks that the original Justice League was so bad that it's propping up the Snyder Cut a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Snyder Cut in the original, I don't think we'd liked it so much. But
yeah, having the backdrop of a shitty theatrical cut and then seeing this, that could be the reason why I like it so much.
I didn't recognize a shot in the movie for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty different.
It was unbelievably different.
Yeah. And I'll say too that it is 4 hours. I don't think it needed to be 4 hours. There's several scenes in the movie that were just very indulgent and way too long. And I was telling Tom this before the podcast started, but it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but essentially there's a scene where the Flash, Barry Allen, saves a young woman from a car crash. That scene is like 6 minutes long of just him in slow motion saving this young woman.
And they didn't even go on a date afterwards.
Right. It just seemed like, hey, there's no rules. Let's just make every scene as long as possible. And
I like it.
If you cut those down a little bit, you probably could have made it into a good 3-hour movie. And then there's just like a couple of scenes in the movie that's just like, this doesn't need to be here towards the end.
So this leads me to my bigger take. I think we should just release all the extended cuts of all theatrical releases. Just do it.
Yeah, why not?
I loved seeing the filmmaker's original intention for a film.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
Let it ride, and except if Jared Leto's in your movie, I don't want to see the extended cut.
Right. The Jared Leto was added to Justice League, or I guess they'd filmed this scene already. And he was
the worst part, and it almost ruined it for me. Ruined it for me.
He's such a bad Joker. Like, he's just bad.
The laugh made me want to crawl inside my skull and just like die.
Yeah, I think he's just trying too hard.
The laugh was so bad. He was trying very hard.
And it's just stop it, dude. It's the worst.
It was at first I thought it was a joke. I was like, no, this is I just
sounds like a frog dying when he laughs.
He looks like a dying frog too.
Well, it gets me excited that they possibly might do a Suicide Squad director's cut, which I mean, if it's,
Jared Leto was so bad in that 10 minutes though that I don't think I want to see him again.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
like a whole movie of Jared Leto, count me out.
I feel like if Justice League, the theatrical cut was that bad, and there's a director's cut, and it's the same thing as Justice League, I think I said all the right words there. I would want to see the Suicide Squad director's cut.
Here's my difference. Justice League is kind of the culmination of Zack Snyder's baby project with Superman and then Superman versus Batman. And then he got cut out of his final act. Suicide Squad is just a standalone movie by David Ayer. And like, I'm not a huge Snyder fan, but I feel like he gets more clout than David Ayer.
Yeah.
And they're already redoing Suicide Squad. It's not like
right.
And James Gunn is doing it, and Jared Leto's not in it, and so we're all excited about that. So
are they redoing it, or is it a sequel?
It's technically a sequel or a prequel or something.
It's one of those sequels that they're like, pay no attention to anything that happened before this.
Yeah.
Wow. So
to me, they're restarting it.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in those two to me. A director's cut of Suicide Squad would just be like, ooh, Justice League was successful. Let's do the Ayer cut.
I would almost want to watch the original cut of Suicide Squad just to see like how bad was Jared Leto that they're like, we can't have him in this movie. We have to get rid of him altogether.
Just stop it with Jared Leto's Joker.
No, we don't need
it. It was a good idea, I guess. Like, because when it came out that he was going to play the Joker, I was like, oh, that could be interesting. And,
on paper,
that was the last positive thought I had about him.
On paper, it sounds good. But then you think about Jared Leto just being crazy the entire time and like putting snakes in his co-stars' rooms or whatever because he wanted to be Joker offset as well. Then honestly, you're like, all right, we don't need that.
Yeah.
If Jared had played the Joker as the character of the Little Things or whatever that movie was called.
Oh yeah,
I would have enjoyed him way more. He was
way better Joker,
way creepier, way better Joker as not the Joker.
Yeah. I watched Blade Runner 2049 as well, and he's good in that. And it's like, just do this.
Yeah.
Just be this guy, but Joker.
He's just trying too hard. That's what it is. He's trying too hard. If he just is his normal acting, creepy ass self, he'd be great.
And I don't want to do this, but I'm going to
do it.
He had to follow up Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
it's true.
He had to make it
impossible.
and he failed, and it's fine. You know, it's fine. Just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yeah, maybe another generation will look at this differently if they keep making these movies over and over and over and over again. But for the next 20 years, they just shouldn't try. They really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Joker was kind of like, is it going to work? And then they casted the right guy for it. And also that movie should just be called Arthur because Joker's in it for 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's already a movie called Arthur, so you can't do that.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Copyright. Well, yeah, Justice League. It's if you got 4 hours and you like superhero movies, then I recommend it. It's pretty good. It's good. It's good.
3.5 out of 5 stars.
Give it 4 out of 5 stars. I'll give it even more than that.
No.
Okay.
Leto dropped down a half star.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. It's a Saturday morning, guys. You know what that means? Unfortunately, I don't have box office numbers yet. So, the box office numbers I have are from last week.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I guess we'll just, wait till next week for box office. I can say this.
What a disaster.
On the dailies, Crudes is still in the top 5. I still have dailies. I don't have.
Yeah, give us the daily top 5.
I'll give you dailies. Yeah, let me pull it up.
Is Justice League in the theaters? It has to be, right?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's only on HBO.
Another thing about Justice League, it being formatted for IMAX and in 4:3 format was brutal.
Yeah. It was one of those things.
I turned that on, and the first 90 seconds I was like, no way.
Yeah, the format is not for home theater consumption.
I got used to it, but it was like watching a movie in 2001.
Unless you have like a projector, maybe it looked a lot better on like a big projector. But yeah, I was like, oh,
I don't have a projector.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the dailies, and these are from Thursday. Don't have Friday's dailies yet, but number 5 was The Marksman with $53,875.
Still going to see that movie. My gosh.
Coming in at number 4 was Crude's A New Age, $82,790. And number 3 was Boogie.
Boogie.
What?
Never heard of Boogie? $83,025.
Boogie.
I don't know what that is.
We're looking it up.
Okay. Number 2 is Chaos Walking. It made $218,044 on Thursday. And then number 1 was Raya, or is it Raya or Raya?
Like Raya.
Raya?
Raya. Okay. Raya and the Last Dragon made 5,940. Yeah, 5,900. I can't. Numbers
are recap of Boogie. Alfred Boogie Chin, a basketball phenom living in Queens, New York, dreams of one day playing in the NBA.
Oh, that's
parents pressure him to focus on earning a scholarship to an elite college. Boogie must find a way to navigate a new girlfriend, high school, on-court rivals, and the burden of expectation.
Got it. So that's the Eddie Huang produced film. Yeah. Okay. But Raya and the Last Dragon made $594,544 on Thursday. So box office for Thursday, March 18th. Not a full weekend. We'll get back to it next week.
A name like Boogie, I expected it to be about dancing. Thought the same thing about Boogie Nights, and that was not about dancing.
No, it was not. So yeah, those are box office. We'll have a full weekend next week. But yeah, that's what we got for dailies. Guys, we need to talk about Colin Hanks.
I still want to settle this, by the way.
I know we'll need to figure that out, but here we got a couple of problems on our hands here. One, we put the challenge out to Colin this past week on social media, and a lot of people really helped us push it. Thank you for everyone who was retweeting and commenting and tagging Colin in your posts. Colin did not respond, which is really disappointing because I had really high hopes that it was going to go our way. But maybe you just got annoyed with it and you're just like, I'm not answering that. What'd you say?
What? I didn't say anything.
I don't even know what you're saying.
That's okay.
What he's saying. Don't listen.
I also think that maybe Colin's like, I don't want to talk about my dad. So stop hitting me up. I don't know.
What about Chet? Did we try Chet yet?
No, we didn't try Chet. We could try.
I don't really care what he thinks, though.
We could make Chet choose. Maybe that'll be next week.
What does Chet do?
I think
he lifts weights.
Yeah, he's a bodybuilder.
I don't think he's actually a bodybuilder. I think he just goes to the gym.
Yeah. Chet Hanks, if you're listening, do it. Colin couldn't and help us decide. Here's the thing, though.
Didn't.
It's been 2 weeks since we had the Hanks fight challenge. I think we're drawing it out too long. I love drawing things out, but I think we just need to decide. And you know what? Here's where my heart's at. I think we just give it to David Pumpkins.
I mean, the show vote did swing in Pumpkins' favor.
There's a lot of Pumpkins love from pretty much everyone who commented on making Colin choose.
How about this? Tom and I will be the final deciders of the judge. You both get 45 seconds to give us your spiel, and we'll make a final vote.
Mob doesn't want to do it.
Starting now, go.
Here. Can I say something?
Yes.
As the representative for David S. Pumpkins, I think we all know, in all reality, you throw these two people in a ring, Forrest Gump is gonna win. What happened is David S. Pumpkins got the popular, that's kind of crazy, the new age, like, we want him to win. He is the Peyton Hillis to Madden of our Tom Hanks fight. He got the vote that, like, this is crazy. Let's put him on the cover.
Isn't he a demon though? He's not alive.
No one knows what he is.
No one knows.
That's what makes him so
He's
terrifying.
His own thing.
He's inhuman, maybe.
It's really a fight of good versus evil.
But also, let's think
this.
about it. The only action we have ever seen David S. Pumpkins do is this.
Terrifying.
He just stands there.
Does he get his little skeleton cronies?
You don't get the cronies along with him, but even then, those cronies are running. You've seen them.
I'm just saying it. David Pumpkins wins. That's how we solved it. Colin couldn't do it for us. And it's all based off of, like, just love from the people.
Towards David.
Chief Boy has declared.
Yeah, Chief Boy declares
now,
David S. Pumpkins is our winner.
I did text my dad later. Him and his friend were driving somewhere, and they both unanimously decided that Forrest Gump would kill David Pumpkins, like actually kill him. Let me read the text.
He texted me too.
Yeah, did he text both of us, Mob?
Yeah, and I told him, I'm glad you didn't answer the phone.
Here's the quote. Without question, David S. Pumpkins gets his ass kicked by Forrest Gump. Forrest possesses that pent-up inner rage and crazy man strength from years of denial by Jenny.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was Kenny's basis.
Yeah.
It's a good basis. I'm also not sure he knew who David S. Pumpkins was, to be fair.
That's fair.
He actually didn't. I had to explain to him who he was. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, Pumpkins is the winner. It's said. It's done. Here's the real issue. We got to figure out how we're going to give away this gift card that we have. Here's what I think. I think we just need a good old fashioned Twitter push. You know, we got a lot of Instagram followers now, but our Twitter is still lagging behind. So,
where's this gift card coming from?
We have a gift card. It comes out of the CineBoiz budget.
Ah, okay.
That budget, that we talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, that budget. Yeah. So we have this $25 Amazon gift card that we're going to give away if you commented, tagged Colin Hanks, and he responded. He never responded, though, so we feel like we can't really give it away unless we bribe people to follow us on Twitter. So Twitter push. Let's get to 75. I think that's reasonable.
What are we at now?
55, I believe. We're over 100 on Instagram, so thank you for everyone who follows us on Instagram.
That blows me away. Who the hell's listening to this and following us?
Hey, we're popular,
It was
dude.
just the four of us.
We're growing.
It's the four of us plus a couple of wives. Yeah.
Yeah. We're growing, man.
Listen.
And even then, I don't even listen.
My wife doesn't listen either, so really, it's just Tom's wife.
I'm pretty sure Catherine does not listen to this podcast, which is fine.
Laura's really our only fan.
Yeah.
She loves it when she hears us say her name, so let's keep going.
Laura.
She feels so famous.
Laura Bragg.
All right, that's enough, Jerry.
All right. Well, we're going to do Twitter push. More to come on that and rules and all that. But if we get to 75, somebody's getting a gift card. So get on it. Tell a friend. Say, hey, just follow them. You might win a gift card. Yeah. Gosh, man, there's a lot to talk about today. The other big thing this week, Oscar nominations came out. Yeah.
I don't really care.
I totally forgot. I didn't like when they were coming out. I logged on Twitter that morning. I go, "Oh, Oscar noms."
Yeah, it's weird because it's almost April and we're just now getting Oscar nominations. Well, a couple big things with the Oscar nominations. The big one that pissed me off is Regina King did not get nominated for Best Director.
Here's my thing about
One Night in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. If they're not going to win, then I don't care that they're snubbed. I don't think she was going to win, so I don't care. That's my case for all snubs. Were they actually going to win? If the answer is no, then I don't care.
Here's the thing. I feel like nominations mean something. Like just being nominated means something because there's 5 out of however many movies were made. So I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, she's not going to win.
I'm a bottom line type of guy. But I get what you're saying as well.
I mean, they put on trailers, Oscar nominated, like when they're selling. It's a thing.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a thing. Like it's an honor to be like recognized for your work in some way, and just to be left off, like whether you're going to win or not, to be nominated and to be noticed as one of the top 5 means something.
Yeah. So essentially, she was booted out for what's his butt. He directed Another Round, which
I didn't see it, but people love it.
Yeah, a lot of love for that movie. I've not seen it either. However, I just feel like, and I could be wrong because I haven't seen it, and I could be way off, but Thomas Vinterberg was nominated for Another Round, so essentially that pushed out Regina.
Who here has seen One Night in Miami? Did you like it?
Yes, loved it.
Yes.
You loved it?
Yep, it's really good.
I was very bored.
Okay.
Very bored.
I
see the appeal, but it was 2 hours of just.
Well, it's another play to screen movie, so it's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
So, but I thought I kind of agree with Ken. I'm not as angry as Ken is, but the way she was able to have all 4 of those personalities, because those are 4 big personalities, and be able to go through that movie the way she did, I think she deserves some sort of recognition.
Yeah. I just feel like too, it's the first movie she's ever directed.
Right.
And it's like, that's awesome. Like the fact that it's that good of a movie, you've never directed a feature before. It doesn't make sense to me that she was not nominated.
I'm also really big on Regina King right now because I just watched Watchmen and The Leftovers, and she's in both of those.
Awesome.
And she's wonderful.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, but when I made the make Colin choose graphic, it looks exactly like Watchmen, and I didn't really realize that. It was just totally a subconscious
Interesting
thing. Took the yellow circle straight from Regina. It was the exact same thing. I just didn't realize I was doing it. So
interesting.
It's like it's blue and a big yellow circle behind Colin, which is exactly what it is on HBO.
Yeah,
just Regina with a giant yellow circle.
Yeah, so I'm not too happy about that, but I am also not on
Did we watch the other movie to see if it's deserving?
Well, didn't the Apple Show love it?
Apple Shows
loved it. That's what I mean. People love it.
Yeah, maybe we should watch it. Okay.
Ads.
How about this? How about we get the Apple Show to tell us about it so we don't have to watch it?
That's fair.
I think they have.
Didn't they write about it already?
Yeah, I think they already did.
No. But I meant
read
more
the
like
newsletter.
I meant more like an interaction between the 2 of us.
Yes. Other weird things. There's a couple other weird things, but other weird thing is that we have a Best Supporting Actor field that includes Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya for the same movie.
I don't understand. I don't understand anything anymore.
I would understand if I could understand who the lead actor is. Like if there was another lead actor that didn't even have to be nominated, but it's like, okay, yeah, he's the lead actor, I'd be fine with 2 of them.
The lead actor was Lakeith Stanfield. I don't.
Yes. Does that make him a shoo-in to win? Because I think it does.
I don't.
I think he should. I think he's so good.
Let me check the old.
You could even say you could argue that they're both the lead actor. Like they are both such prominent characters in that movie.
Really, it's about
co-leads.
The movie revolves around Lakeith Stanfield, though.
Right.
Yes,
it is his story, and Daniel Kaluuya is part of his story.
It's not.
So by definition, to me, that makes him a supporting actor.
It's not the Black Messiah featuring Judas. It's Judas in the Black Messiah. So I mean,
and it robs Kaluuya, I think, of a possible win. Which is so dumb.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to split.
It's totally
going
to happen. Yeah, no, they're not.
This happens. Yeah. This happens all the time in supporting actors. You get or actress or whatever. Is you get two from the same movie and they don't win, even if one of them deserved it.
Right.
So right now, oh my gosh, the odds. Action Network odds are on Chadwick Boseman,
but he's in the leading role. He's not nominated for supporting.
Yeah. Sorry, I looked up the wrong one. You're right.
But yeah, he's gonna win. He'll 100%. Win lead actor. Which I don't think he should. I think Riz Ahmed should win.
100% agree.
This can't be right. Sacha Baron Cohen. Oh, I mean, those odds might change, but that's dumb. That's dumb.
For Sacha Baron Cohen is nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Oh, Trial Chicago 7. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Borat.
He was very good.
Yeah, what?
He's fantastic in it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's weird. I don't like it.
Honestly, Lakeith Stanfield is fourth in the. He's not going to win. He's not going to win. Sorry, Kenny. I'll let you think.
I think he should. I think he's the best of the group. I think he's the best.
I think Kaluuya has the better chance of the two of them to win because he's the actual supporting actor.
Yeah.
But I just think it's ridiculous that I don't know. I don't get it.
I think Paul Raci in Sound of Metal is also very good.
Yes.
He's really, really good in that movie.
Yes. Give him all the awards.
Yes, Sound of Metal, man. What a movie.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to take this back. The odds showed up different on Google than when I actually clicked. Daniel Kaluuya is -400 to win Best Supporting Actor.
Huh, interesting.
Then it goes Sasha, then Leslie Odom Jr., Paul Raci, and then Lakeith Stanfield is last.
That's also
because he's not a supporting actor.
That's such a stacked supporting actor.
It really is pretty good.
Group.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Kaluuya, I think, deserves to win because I just don't Lakeith Stanfield confuses me.
Last year it was Pacino, Anthony Hopkins, Joe Pesci. It was nuts last year. It was like, what year is this?
1995.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the best part about, in my opinion, the absolute best part about the Oscar nominations this year. So Glenn Close has been nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Hillbilly Elegy, which is just a fucking dumpster fire of a movie. But she's the first person in history to be nominated for an Academy Award and a Razzie for the same role in the same movie the same year.
Explain to the people at home if they don't know what the Razzies are.
So the Razzies are essentially the Oscars for shitty movies that come out. I think their ceremony is the night before or like a couple days before the Oscars. And it's literally, they just give awards to people who make, who are in the worst movies. And like, it's fun because like some people are super into it. Like I remember like specifically Halle Berry went to the Razzies and accepted her award for Catwoman and was like super into it. And I love it. I love it when people are just like, yeah, it wasn't great, so I'll take this award. But yeah, so no, essentially she's nominated and she, I don't think she's going to win the Oscar, but she's going to win the Razzie for it.
I always forget who won who just recently won.
For supporting actress Oscar?
Yeah. Yes.
Last year? I think it was.
I already can't remember. I was trying to think of this.
I know Renee Zellweger won.
It was Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
That's right.
Deserved it. She's great.
Right. She deserved it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that's just fun. That's fun to see.
When are they this year? May?
April. Last weekend in April, I think.
Okay. All right. I think it's fair to say we'll probably try and do some sort of stream for it.
Yeah, I would like to. That was a lot of fun. We'll have to figure out how to do it remotely, but very possible. The people liked it. The people wanted it for the Golden Globes. and we got some cool new followers out of that, which was a lot of fun.
Goth Grandpa, shout out.
Shout out Goth Grandpa.
I think I know who Goth Grandpa is, but I don't want to say if I'm wrong and insult anybody. So
I don't think we know.
We don't know who
I
this
don't think we
person
know
is.
who he is.
I promise.
The dream is dead. I don't think we know. I don't think they know.
But he said he lives in the same town as the CineBoiz, although we technically live in 3 different cities between the 4 of us.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, the guy who Kevin thinks it is doesn't live in the same
You're
city.
right. He doesn't live in any of these cities, so that rules out my theory. Unless he's lying to us.
Yeah.
But no one on the internet has ever lied to anyone.
Yeah, like the amount of fun we had doing that makes me wish we just did a live podcast every week.
It was much easier to banter with the boys sitting next to each other.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And I loved Mob. I loved Mob just coming in the chat. I don't know why, but that really was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
So next podcast we do, Mob's just going to be on the chat. He's just going to be commenting from the keyboard.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about before we get into Tom's stuff is that which one of you guys sent it? Kevin, you sent it this week.
My gosh.
Film Facts Twitter had a post that basically said, while filming Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams improvised so much that there were PG-13, R, and NC-17 cuts of Mrs. Doubtfire.
What does that look like?
Yeah,
exactly.
I have to know.
I want to release the NC-17 cut of Mrs. Doubtfire, please, because I want to see that. There's got to be just a lot of dong.
I've never wanted to see anything rated that before.
I had 4 different people
I'm so
send that
curious.
to me yesterday.
It's got to just be a lot of male nudity.
I got to think that NC-17 in 1990 whatever is maybe just R in 2021.
Right. It's probably like 2 dong shots, and that qualified for NC-17 because, a penis is so offensive. But you can show a naked woman all the time, and it's a rated R movie. You show a penis, it's like NC-17. So
because they're ugly.
That's sexist.
Yeah.
I just love the idea that Robin Williams had enough off-the-cuff content for 4 different movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is just. Oh.
Have any of you guys seen the HBO documentary on Robin Williams?
Mm-mm.
It's fascinating. His mind is just.
It was everywhere.
Crazy. Yeah. He can improvise and be funny and just about anything. Like it's nuts. So the fact that he improvised so much and there's all these different versions of the film doesn't shock me. But I really want to see the NC-17 version of Mrs. Doubtfire. It's got to be great.
I mean, Ken's all in on NC-17 films, so this is
for sure.
Your alley.
I think I've been very clear that I'm pro NC-17 movies. Also, I don't think there's a good NC-17 comedy. I don't think there is one. So it'd be cool to have an NC-17.
Seen a lot of NC-17 films.
Oh, fair enough. Probably a good thing.
Have I ever seen one? Actually, I don't know if I have.
There's only one NC-17 movie that I've actually watched. Like I joke about it. There's only actually one that I've watched and been like, that's a really, really good movie, but
which one?
Really tough to watch. It's called Shame with Michael Fassbender.
Oh yeah.
Very good movie.
Wild.
Very difficult to watch.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily recommend it because there's a lot of subject matter in that film that is really tough. But all the other NC-17 movies are just jokingly bad, like Showgirls. That movie's terrible. Apparently, I've never seen it all the way through, but it's like a joke, like how bad that movie is.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyways, so that's all we got. Tom, let's get to you, man. Do we got trivia this week?
We do have trivia this week. And I thought to kind of round us out with the whole Tom Hanks battle, we would just do a little Tom Hanks trivia this morning.
Nice.
So, got a few questions for you guys to answer here. So we'll just jump right on into it. So Tom Hanks has had great success playing everyday people who perform extraordinary feats. In 2016, Hanks played Chelsea Sully Sullenberger in the movie Sully. What was the subtitle for this movie?
His name was Chelsea?
Mm-hmm. Or Chesley. I don't know.
Chesley.
Chesley's kind of badass.
It's something on the Hudson.
Miracle on the Hudson?
Any other guesses?
Awesome plane guy.
Gooses on the Hudson.
It was Miracle on the Hudson.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
It was a goose that flew into the motor, right?
Yeah.
That got sucked in.
Yeah.
I think that would happen more often, if we're being totally honest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Geese are everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, well. I
Interesting.
don't know. I'm not a pilot.
There was a blockade of geese in my neighborhood yesterday.
You mean our neighborhood?
Dude, yes. Well, not my neighborhood. The neighborhood behind me, which is quite wealthier than my neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, Lake Woodrow or whatever that is.
The one with the lake, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks
I'm going to
out.
claim it, though, so people think I'm better off than I am.
The bourgeoisie of Colombia.
You are like right at that entrance there.
It's like
kind of.
the street behind me is right there, and it's like where some of the elites of Colombia live there, and it's very like, what? Why am I?
I walk through it. I walk through it every day in my dream about not being middle class anymore and being upper middle class.
No one cares about the class tiers in Colombia. Give us more Tom Hanks trivia.
I don't know. Tom,
We're so over Colombia. Please give us something
let's start
else.
our own podcast just about weird things in Colombia that we like and dislike.
Sounds great. I'm in.
It'll be you, me, and then Laura will be our one listener.
Hell yeah. Second question. The movie Apollo 13 was based on the real-life mission that had to be aborted because of an exploded oxygen tank. The movie suspense is whether or not the mission can be brought. Oh, hold on. I just had a technical difficulty there. Something with Zoom. Anyway. Apollo 13, movie suspense, whether or not the mission can be brought back to Earth safely. Tom Hanks, though, was not the original pick for the role as Commander James A. Lovell. Who was the actor who was first chosen?
Ooh. Denzel Washington.
Awesome. When was that made?
95.
94. Yeah.
James Vanderbeek. No idea.
Val Kilmer. That's actually my answer.
That's actually pretty good. That's a decent guess.
Bob, any guesses?
Al Pacino.
Okay. It was actually John Travolta.
John Travolta.
Yeah,
I think
checks out.
My image of John Travolta has been very sullied in the last 15 years.
He's made a lot of bad movies in the last 15 years.
It was a big deal in the 90s.
Yeah.
Interesting fact as well with John Travolta. He was actually offered to do 3 movies that ended up going to Tom Hanks. He was offered to do Splash, Forrest Gump, and then, Apollo 13 is the third one.
What a bad beat.
I think Forrest Gump with John Travolta sucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wouldn't have liked that movie.
I think it would have been horrible.
Easily forgotten.
And sort of just like, dude, why'd you do this movie?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jenny.
That's pretty good.
Also, whoever was casting him for those roles should not cast movies.
The fact that Tom Hanks wasn't the number one option for Forrest Gump kind of blows me away.
I feel like it's easy to say that now, though, now that we've seen him.
Shut up, Tom.
As that role. I don't know. It's just me.
You're right. You're totally right.
Next question. This 1987 movie, directed by Tom Mankiewicz, starred Dan Aykroyd, Christopher Plummer, Harry Morgan, and Tom Hanks, and is based on a TV series of the same name starring Jack Webb. The movie tells the story of a straight-laced detective sergeant who just wants to get the facts. What is the movie?
Dragnet.
Turner and Hooch. No idea.
Turner and Hooch.
It's Dragnet.
Dragnet.
It is Dragnet. You are correct, sir.
I'm so smart.
Never saw that movie.
Next one is a quote. Name the movie this quote is from. I've done some things in my life that I'm not proud of, but this is the first time I've ever felt in real danger of hell.
Toy Story 3.
I wish.
Is it like Angels and Demons or The Da Vinci Code? One of those two.
Angels and Demons is a great guess.
That's my guess as well.
Sure,
Angels
let's
and
roll
Demons.
Mm-hmm.
The Green Mile.
Oh,
that makes sense.
It does
Damn
make
it.
sense, though.
Yeah.
Actually, isn't that like one of the big quotes from that movie?
Yeah. It's probably like at the apex of the movie.
Yeah. It's one of his lines near the end, I think.
For whatever reason, The Green Mile was deemed too scary by my parents for me to see it in theaters.
Is that because it's like based on a Stephen King book?
I guess. I just know I wasn't allowed to see it in theaters.
that was the first movie that like emotionally wrecked me growing up. I remember very clearly just being devastated by that movie.
Yeah.
Made you
Super
question the
sad.
system.
It just made me really sad. I cried.
I didn't because I wasn't allowed.
Fair enough.
Got a few more here for us. How many Oscars did the movie Philadelphia win?
6.
4.
We're all over the board here. How many again?
6.
Kevin, what'd you say?
I said 4. I don't know. It's gonna be less.
2.
Than
I was gonna change my answer last minute because like that's too many.
6 is way too many.
I got it.
Tom
One
Hanks.
best visual effects.
So Tom Hanks and who else?
Best song, which I think Bruce Springsteen.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah,
Streets of Philadelphia. Is that the song?
I think so.
Nice, nailed it. Sorry.
So 2 more. Sally Field has worked with Tom Hanks a number of times, but she is mostly remembered for 2 performances. What 2 movies has Tom Hanks and Sally Field starred in together?
Well, Forrest Gump's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this other one.
Bonfire of the Vanities.
I don't know. I'm gonna cheat. I won't say it. Just curious. I've never heard of that.
There's no answer I can give other than Toy Story 2.
So Forrest Gump is correct, and then Punchline.
I've never heard of Punchline.
I have not either.
Heard of Drumline.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's way better.
Are we a Nick Cannon podcast?
I don't
I'm
know.
a fan of Drumline.
I'm not anti Nick Cannon. I'd say
I'm not
more neutral.
I'm
Nick
not
Cannon.
pro either, though. Yeah, okay.
I'd say neutral.
Nick Cannon neutral. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Our final question: what was Tom Hanks' film debut?
I should know this, but I don't.
Don't know if you will actually. I probably shouldn't say stuff like that because then it's like that could give you hints.
It's probably something I've never even heard of, honestly.
He's probably like in a movie where he just was like a third secondary character or something like that.
Love Boat.
I'll say The Burbs. It's probably not right.
It's a great movie though.
I mean,
Answer-
Splash was early on, right? But that's not it.
The answer was or is He Knows You're Alone.
Yeah, that's a
only
movie
has-
I've heard of, and I know it very well.
7 minutes on screen, and he was paid $800 to do it.
7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's actually a pretty
$800,
decent amount of
not
time.
bad. How many
was
hours do
probably
you think
like in
that
the
equated
70s.
to on set?
I don't know.
Probably a couple of days at least.
Yeah. Probably
Maybe
had a
one
trailer.
full day. No way.
Well, cool. Well, Tom, thank you so much. We
Absolutely.
did not do very well that time, but thank you for the questions. Let's do some movie anniversaries.
Happy 5-year anniversary to My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Oh, the second
2?
one.
Yeah. I did not know they made a second one.
Produced by Tom
it.
Hanks.
Is Joey Fat one in that?
Oh, really that one.
He's in
That
the first
was-
one.
The first one was a big deal. Like
Yeah.
maybe too big of a deal.
She
Yeah, it
was
was
going to be
huge.
like the next big thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
until she
What was-
wasn't.
What's her name?
Nia Vardalos.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and the guy from Sex and the City.
My parents loved that movie.
Yeah.
Not Sex in the City. Big Fat Greek Wedding.
It was like, the biggest like indie movie of all time when it came out. I think that's been dethroned since then, but at the time it was like the biggest indie movie ever.
It's a pretty hilarious idea when you break it down into simple terms. I have a great idea for a movie. One guy is not Greek, but she is Greek,
And they get married.
and they get married.
Yeah.
Throw a lot of
Who's the father in that movie?
I don't know his name.
Steve Martin,
No.
father of the bride.
No.
Nailed it.
I'd love to watch that version of Big Factory Wedding. Steve Martin playing a Greek guy.
Happy 10-year anniversary to the Adjustment Bureau.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Anthony Mackie's finest moment on camera.
Probably not. I think you're forgetting 8 Mile.
I remember thinking it was like decent in the time that it came out, and looking back, I think it was just not that good.
It's weird to me that Anthony Mackie's been around for so long.
That he was in 8 Mile?
Yeah, and he's just now like becoming a household name.
And he really hasn't aged.
How old is he?
I
He's
bet he's in
probably
his
just
40s.
Probably in his 40s.
That makes no sense to me.
Got a long life
almost
left.
50.
Give me your guesses.
I'm going to say 43. Nope. I'm going to say 46.
I was going to say 46.
Okay. Bob?
40. I don't think, I just like, he can't be that old.
42.
Ah, shit.
43 in September.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. Shout out.
Still
Anthony
wild
Mackie.
to me.
Also, wasn't Emily Blunt the other main in Adjustment Bureau?
Well, Anthony Mackie wasn't even the main. He was
I know. He was just like the dude that he was the fallen angel. Or whatever.
Matt Damon's the lead.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm Matt
He was bad.
And Emily Blunt.
That's the worst part about that movie.
And wasn't there a guy from Mad Men, like John?
The white hair.
Flattery?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Was it Franklin Gell in that movie too?
Don't know who that is.
I don't know.
I'll say yes.
Well, also, fun Frank Langella fact. They interviewed him. They said, what was his favorite role he ever did? And it was Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe live action movie. And they were like, really? He's like, yeah, I know the movie's a piece of shit, but I don't think I've ever like been challenged or had more fun doing a role than that.
Nice.
So that's interesting. He's a pretty respected actor. So for that to be his answer, I thought that was pretty funny.
Our last one. Happy 25-year anniversary to Sergeant Bilko.
Oh, yeah.
Never seen it.
Solid Steve Martin movie.
Mm-hmm. Bilko.
The bride.
It's funny. I know the movie box cover because I looked at it a million times at Blockbuster growing up, but I never rented it.
Speaking of Blockbuster, there's a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah. It looks
called
good
The
too.
Last Blockbuster, and it's really good.
I almost watched
it last night. Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
It makes you,
Kevin.
oh man, I watched it and I was telling Catherine, I was like, I wish we still had Blockbusters.
You did
like,
watch
it?
Yeah, I want to go to a Blockbuster.
Worth our
really
time?
bad. What's that?
Worth our time?
Yeah, for sure. It's not very long, and it's a nostalgia trip. It's not like super heartfelt, but it's a fun nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
And they talk about why Blockbuster went out of business, and it's actually really interesting. It's not what you would think. So
Not the Netflix thing?
it's kind of, but not directly Netflix.
Not solely.
Yeah.
All right. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like poor management, and like they could very well still be around, but they just the company was
Should
not.
we just start Blockbuster 2?
Well, we'd have to buy the rights from Dish Network because they own Blockbuster now.
But if it's called Blockbuster 2,
Blockbuster 2.
Blockbuster the sequel.
I think people would really like that.
Yeah, Return of Blockbuster.
Take the C out of Blockbuster.
Yeah, just a K.
Just BLOK.
Yeah.
And the colors are yellow and blue, not blue and yellow.
Yeah. It's really interesting because they talk about how there is one Blockbuster left, and it's in Oregon.
But it's not real, though.
Go.
No, it is. It is. It
is
a
a real
legitimate
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
I thought there was just the one in Alaska that you can rent.
No, that one closed. So there's only one left. It's in Oregon, and it is a legit Blockbuster. So it's not like just somebody decided like I'm going to keep my Blockbuster open.
Is it in Portland?
Bend.
It would be in Oregon. Those people are crazy.
Yeah, but it's like they get all the Blockbuster stuff, like new releases. So Dish Network owns Blockbuster now. They own the rights to Blockbuster. So essentially, they've basically let this one store, continue to renew their lease, and so it is still a Blockbuster.
The funny thing is if you reopen Blockbuster, I think it would do wildly good business for at least a couple months out of the gate.
Well, they talk about it in the documentary how there's been a resurgence of vinyl. So like record stores are doing pretty well because like people are really interested in vinyl. So it's like, it makes sense. Like if you decided like, hey, we're going to try this again. And it's like, you can go and rent physical media. I think there's like a
There's a niche market, I think.
Probably not 9,000 stores worth, but
So the thing about Blockbuster was, so now on Netflix, you can scroll Netflix for 2 hours, just be like, this sucks, and then you don't end up watching a movie. You just like, all right, we're just going to watch The Office for a couple of hours instead. Yeah. But with Blockbuster, you went into Blockbuster, you weren't coming out without a movie.
Right.
You were going to come out with a movie and watch it.
But you would also still sometimes spend 2 hours in the Blockbuster trying to find something.
Yeah, but it's not wasted time. Well, because you end up coming out with a movie.
And sometimes those 2 hours was just deciding between which of the three, because your mom would only let you get one.
Yep.
And it's like, I really want to watch this. Also, kids these days don't know what it's like to run up to the movie they want to watch, see it, and then look behind it.
They don't know
just a fake little thing behind it.
Yeah. They don't know the high highs or the low lows of that excitement of finding it, or the disappointment, just the soul crushing disappointment of it not being there.
Yeah. There are 30 cases up there. Yeah. You see one left, you go behind it, and it's not the movie you wanted. Someone tricked you.
Yeah.
Someone just wanted to watch the world burn. Yeah, it was dumb.
It's messed up.
Or like there was always a couple sections of Blockbuster where they didn't have the cases in front. It was just the movie, so it's just the title. And so sometimes there was a couple times where I rented a movie thinking it was one thing, and then it wasn't that movie because it didn't have the cover of the movie that I could see.
Yeah. Did anybody go to other movie rental places?
Yes.
There was a Family Video in St. Louis.
Family Video, Movie Gallery.
Hollywood Video.
But Blockbuster was like the main one.
Yeah. There was a Hollywood Video also that we would frequent.
For us, Blockbuster was kind of a treat because if we normally rented a movie, it was at the grocery store. So like Schnucks.
Oh yeah,
that's actually Schnucks was my most.
Hy-Vee had it. Yeah. Growing up, we didn't have, so Kirksville didn't have a Blockbuster. Shocking, but it had like everything else. Had a movie gallery. I had like a couple weird local rental stores, like a Video Castle was one we went to a lot. Oh man, I rented Hook from that place thousands of times. And then grocery store like Hy-Vee had a solid selection too of movies.
I think Movie Gallery is a Missouri Midwest thing, because I saw more movie galleries growing up than I did Blockbusters.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough, guys. We've been going on forever, just forever.
I have a timer going. We are over an hour.
Wow, look at us go. Well, hey, that's pretty much it. I just want to thank everybody for joining us once again. Be sure to listen, subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Be sure to give us a like on the CorkBats YouTube page. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the CineBoiz. Also, be sure to follow CorkBats at CorkBats on Twitter and Instagram as well. We are part of the CorkBats network, so it's important to us that you care about CorkBats. But that's it. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Cool. Well, good to see you. I'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.